climate change is no longer a future environmental risk. It is an immediate and measurable driver of insecurity and instability, particularly in fragile and conflict-affected settings across Africa. Climate shocks are interacting with weak governance and existing conflict dynamics in ways our traditional security frameworks are not designed to actually manage. This reflects Liberia's experience. My country is a custodian of over 40% of the remaining Upper Guinean forest, while also bearing the historical memory of how natural resources have fueled conflict in our country and across the zone. That experience leaves us with a clear understanding. Natural resources must never again become instruments of war, nor means to express grievances. I like to make 3 points. As you have heard, and because it is true, climate change acts as a threat multiplier. In the Sahel and the Horn of Africa, recurrent droughts and environmental degradation have compounded fragile governance, offsets livelihoods, catalyzes poverty, drives mass displacement, intensifies intercommunal violence, and expands recruitment opportunities for armed groups. These outcomes are not caused by climate alone. But climate stress has decisively magnified existing vulnerabilities, increased fragilities, and accelerated instability. These impacts are not gender neutral. Climate-related shocks disproportionately affect women and children, who constitute the majority of those displaced. Between 2016 and 2021, for those of you who like statistics, 43.1 million children were displaced by weather-related disasters, nearly 20,000 every day, often in insecure settings, in displacement and resource-scarce environments. Look across Sudan, Central Africa. Young children displaced, many mothers, fathers. Women and girls are heightened risk of gender-based violence, exploitation, and loss of access to health and education. While children suffer prolonged disruption to schooling and development. Climate risks must, therefore, be addressed through gender-responsive and child-sensitive approaches that are consistent with the women's security agenda, as well as protection of civilians' obligations. My second point, climate impacts are directly reshaping peace obligations and peace operations. In South Sudan, for example, large-scale flooding has displaced over 1 million people, while simultaneously submerging roads and airstrips essential for civilian protection, thereby constraining mission mobility and humanitarian access. Climate risk now affects how mandates are being implemented on the ground. And so they are no longer external to peacekeeping effectiveness. My third point, environmental degradation is interacting with conflict financing and armed recruitment. In the 𝗥𝗽𝗋𝗿𝗄𝗃 basin, as our permanent observer is called, the dramatic shrinkage of the lake has devastated livelihoods for millions. Conditions that Boko Haram and other armed groups have systematically exploited to sustain recruitment and prolong insecurity. Climate change did not cause extremism, but it reshaped and continues to enable the conditions in which it persists. We therefore reaffirm that protecting the natural environment and objects indispensable to civilian survival is integral to international humanitarian law, and that transparent and accountable natural resource governance is truly a peace instrument and not merely a development. Guided by the African Union Climate Change and Resilient Development Strategy of 2022 to 2032, Liberia reaffirms Africa's commitment to climate justice and underscores the urgent need for skilled-up adaptation, resilience building, and green development pathways. These must be supported by predictable climate financing and technology transfer. Finally, for Liberia, environmental stewardship and peace building are inseparable. Protecting our forests is not only a climate obligation, it is a stability and security investment. And that investment extends to helping you breathe much better. So we like to think we are part of the long term. This is how climate action must become preventive diplomacy in practice. Don't just tell us to conserve our forests, help our economies conserve our forests so all of us can live longer, breathing better. Thank you for your kind attention.